Hello everyone. I made a poll and I asked people what they'd like to see, and they'd like to see my prompts and tips for journaling, and I thought what better way to do that than to show you how I actually journal in my day with the prompts and tips included. So I've just woken up and I am going to make the bed. Sometimes I have my morning journals beside my bed, but today I actually don't, and instead I have Elena Ferrante's My Brilliant Friend, which I've done a bit of reading of this morning. And sometimes I'll actually do my morning journals in bed, but today we're not going to do that. Today we're going to make the bed, make a coffee, sit downstairs and do some morning pages. And I don't even do my morning pages in the way that is typically done. I don't do 3 pages a day. I just do as many sentences as I like. So yeah, let's make the bed, make a coffee, and I've already had some thoughts and feelings because of this wonderful book. So let's go. Welcome to my office. We are at my desk. It's a bit of a mess, but this is where I do my morning pages, and I do it in this notebook here. And I'm not going to show you what my morning pages say because I ramble and these are private thoughts. So don't pause the YouTube video here because that's not for you to see. But yeah, some of my journal entries are like very short and some are very long, and I just date them at the very top. And these are just any thoughts I have in the morning, and they don't need to be anything other than true and authentic. So I'll just basically ramble. I'll even write, these are my morning pages and today I'm thinking, and I'll start like that because sometimes I can't think of anything to write, and the best way to just write is to just write. So that's what I'll do, and I'm going to do that now. Of course, choosing a nice pen is always nice, and I have this pen that I used to work with. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what it is. And then I have this one from Papier, which is really beautiful. It's a bit more inky, whereas this one's more of a biro. And then I also have these biros, but I really like these biros. So I think I'm going to use my silver biro today. Tea is here, of course. What is the date today? That's the hardest part. Journaling is all about getting your ideas out of your head and onto a page. Morning pages are a great way to see how you're feeling and check in with yourself before all the clutter of the day clouds your mind. Just got in from a walk and I saw a deer, which I know I can see deers around where I live, but honestly, anytime I see them, it makes me so happy. Yeah, so I go on these walks. Once a day. There's a really beautiful park nearby. And, sorry, I've got my headphones in. Woo. And I just try to be, actually I'll take this out. I try to be really present when I'm on this walk and just try to get really involved in the action of walking. Yeah, now I'm actually going to do some more reading, and actually I want to show you something because this is ridiculous. Look at this. What are those? What are those? Someone bought me silly socks once, and they were seen by many other people, and now everyone buys me silly socks, so I have a whole bunch of silly socks. Okay, reading. Elena Ferrante. On my walk also, I've been listening to, what is it called? Madonna in a Fur Coat, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yeah, so let's get some more reading done. Going out and actually experiencing life is important for yourself and for your writing. What new opportunities will come your way? What new pieces of beauty will find you? Being present in life is the point of being, so soak up each moment, and maybe this can feed into or spark a new idea and thought and become a journal entry. My reading equipment. Here we have The Loneliness of the Soul, my notebook. Beautiful, love this moleskin. I've actually ordered this is almost finished. I think there's there's 3 pages left. So I'll be using this today. But on Friday, I have a Midori pocket size notebook, and I'm so excited for it to come. I love the Midori paper and really want to try it out. And if it doesn't suit me, I'll go back to these lovely soft moleskin. And then I have my lovely book here, which I am loving. I'm loving so, so much. I'm not able to get through it quicker because I don't know why. I'm just spending a long time. I read a lot of it on holiday. But yeah, we're going to do some reading and settle in, really. I'm going to... Oh, sorry. The reason I actually have this is so that I can take small notes, and I don't count this as journaling, but I want to include this in here because these small notes could turn into a journal entry, and the two really inform one another. So yeah, I wanted to include it in here because of that. Often I mostly just write in the margins, but I like to keep this here just in case there's a bigger thought and it doesn't fit in here. On holiday, I even actually wrote some thoughts here because I was at a restaurant or a cafe by myself. So yeah, okay, let's get comfy. Oh, I made myself another tea. If you're an English girly like me, you will know how important having a cup of tea whilst you do anything in the house is. So that's just me. Reading helps process emotions. It's a slow, reflective activity, much like journaling. How does the story make you feel? How do you relate to it? Reading can create comfort, but also incite new questions. It stops journaling becoming an echo chamber. Okay, I wanted to read you all this part because I thought I like the sound of it, so I've underlined it. How poorly made we are, she had thought. How insufficient. The broad shoulders, the arms, the legs, the ears, noses, eyes seemed to be attributes of monstrous beings who had fallen from some corner of the black sky. And I think this is her friend recognizing that humans are not to take things at face value. And this is like one of the first times she kind of recognizes that. And it's this idea that life is fragile, that life is imperfect. And I've written here, we are all so fragile, and Leela hates fragility and weakness. And yeah, the character Leela, she doesn't like this because I think she doesn't want to be seen as fragile herself because she views it as a negative thing to be soft. Yeah, so I'll just write these ideas here. And I actually, on here, wrote a few questions that this book made me think about, which is, it makes me think of my childhood. How did it feel to be a child? Everything was so mysterious. Things were just the way they were. Adults were confusing. From this story, I think of my own life and ask these questions. How was it to be a child? What was I scared of? What felt exciting? How did people treat me? What did I do? What do I think this means? So these are just, I don't know, some thoughts I've had while reading this book. Now for the genuinely exciting part, to me anyway. So I've done all the reading and everything, and I wanted to show you how I then journal. So we've gone through, I feel like, the main points that I find super important in getting to this stage. So I have here my notebook, I have here the book I'm currently reading, and this lovely pen that I stole from a hotel. Stole? Is that okay to say? Borrowed from a hotel from a different country. And here I have my absolutely gorgeous Hobonichi, actually I'm not sure what it's called. Oh, Hobonichi Taiko 2025 weeks. The pages are so soft, and I've got these lovely stickers on it from Yoshimoto Nara, is that his name? The artist. He has an exhibition currently on at the Hayward, and I'm actually going to it next week, which I'm so excited for. I love Yoshimoto. Okay, so in this book, there are weeks that you can fill out, like so. And then you can write like your bullet points for the week, and then here. But the thing I love about this, there are 2 bookmarks, and the bookmark I have here is the one for the week, and then I put the other bookmark at the end, and at the end are just these plain gridded pages, and I love a B6 size. I like smaller notebooks. And here I'll just basically write journal entries basically, and then when I finish for the day I'll date it. So I actually date it at the end. Don't know why I do that. I think I should actually start dating at the beginning, because sometimes I don't know if it's finished or not. But here it really is unhinged thoughts and things I don't want anyone else to see, and sometimes I write it down on pieces of paper and include it here. And I'll let you into one of the thoughts, and that is when I did my personality test and I got an INFP. So do with that information what you will. Don't hold it against me. And yeah, so from the day and all the thoughts I've had on my book and stuff, I'll basically write down here what I've been thinking, feeling, and I don't try and make it beautiful. I keep it very messy, as you can see. Don't read it. But yeah, I don't keep it tidy or anything, but I love this notebook. How gorgeous is this colour, this olivey colour? Mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Sorry, forgot myself. And then here I have this, and I absolutely love, I think Midori has become my favourite notebook, and I love the way it's bound. I love the feel of the paper. The only thing I don't like about this book is I don't like the size, but that's on me. I chose the size. Oh, and actually I don't like complete plain pages. I prefer when it's dotted or gridded. And I've got some entries at the very beginning, but this book is actually very new, so
yeah, there's not much in here at the moment. But yeah, as you can see, I keep it very messy, and I do the writing in all kind of directions. I do scribbles and doodles. But this is actually the longer essays that you'll see on my Substack. I write them in here, and these are informed by these journal entries, and the journal entries are slightly informed by my notes, and these two actually work in conjunction with each other. But this is definitely informed by my journaling ideas. So I won't be writing, this is like, I usually sit down at my desk to write in this lovely, lovely book. It feels so nice. I'm actually so excited for my A6 version of this to come. Because yeah, as I said before, this has 3 pages left. And it will be somewhat similar to my morning pages, but it will be a bit more intentional. I'll only write in here when I have more of a thought, because it doesn't need to be daily and it doesn't need to be every morning, and it can be whenever I want. The last time I actually wrote in here was a week ago. And the last thing I want to talk about today is actually the sponsor of this video. And as you can see, I sort of use my journaling as a way of working things out, and then the final product, the answer as such, slightly ends up being the essays in this book. And I think it's important to do these workings out. And another thing you can compare this to is equations. That is actually an area of my life I've neglected. I'm very much a literary person. I'm very much a art girl, but a side of me that I've neglected is like the science and maths of life, and I actually find them to be artistic practices. I think that you have to be a creative person to be a mathematician, and my dad is actually very much this kind of person, and he knows a lot about Egyptian mathematics, and I find this also fascinating. So that's all to say, the sponsor of this video is Brilliant.
Brilliant helps you become a better thinker and problem solver with thousands of visual, interactive lessons in math, science, programming, data analysis, and AI. Daily learning, however small, is essential for both personal and professional development. I've been loving Brilliant's updated math courses. They've really helped me develop my mathematical intuition and problem-solving skills. They focus on practical, useful math, so every minute I spend learning feels worthwhile and applicable to real life. Brilliant helps you consistently progress towards your educational objectives, guiding your journey step by step every single day. To try everything Brilliant has to offer for free, go to brilliant.org/Josephine/ scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description. Brilliant is also giving 20% off on annual premium subscriptions.
Thank you so much, Brilliant, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. Easily being able to write ideas down is important to me. I find having a pocket-sized journal, B6 or A6 or smaller, to be helpful. I like to keep things analog, but if not, my Notes app, Obsidian or Fabric are great tools to note things down or journal with, and an easy, accessible way to journal on the go. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that these tips and tools and prompts have helped you. I know that my prompts are not so direct because I think that journaling is very personal and different for everyone. So I cannot give you exact prompts and tools to do this. But I think that basically the main goal is living life and paying attention to things. And then from there you can ask questions, sit with things, let things grow. And that's what I think writing is all about, figuring out the way you think. And this is very personal. So thank you so much if you've made it this far into the video. I have a lot of other videos about note-taking. I have one about doing Didion that you should definitely check out. how to write notes like Joan Didion. She is such an inspiration to me. And in fact, I've read part of her notes to John, and I felt completely wrong doing so, because I do think notes are for you personally and no one else should see them. I think it's wrong to publish these notes of someone's personal life, though I am also kind of nosy, so I did start reading them and then felt incredibly wrong for doing so. Anyway, that's a confession. I will see you all again in my next video. Thanks for watching. Journaling is about raw, unfiltered moments that are messy and uncurated. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.